Welcome back to another episode of Armchair Author Chats. Today we have a very special guest, very talented lady, a native New Yorker who has enjoyed a rich and multifaceted career in the entertainment industry, a mother of three wonderful young adults, is the founder of Reclaim Haven, a wellness platform focused on helping women of all ages define and redefine themselves, and the author of the upcoming book, Being Bigger, Badder, Bolder, Better. Please welcome my very special guest today, Terrah Bennett Smith. Welcome. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you, Miss Lita?
I am well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Gosh, I adore you. I love The Right Turn. We have friends in common. We know that's how we know
Yes,
each
we
other.
do. Yes, we do. And thank you for having me. Yeah, thank you for having me. This is
You're
so
very
wonderful.
welcome. And thank you for doing this.
Excited.
So, welcome aboard. Uh, Give us your book pitch, but do it like you're talking to your bestie who hates spoilers.
The book, Being Bigger, Badder, Bolder, and Better, is for anyone who has found themselves stuck in an abyss, want change, don't know which way to go, don't realize certain things are blocking you. And this gives you an opportunity to identify and move on and how to do it. And it was proven on myself and a few others, though. It started with just me, then moved on to others. So that's what I would say. Yeah. It's
I
being
love
your,
that.
your better, bolder, better, authentic self and no longer shrinking.
I love that. So you share lessons that you've learned and how to connect the dots on your own journey. Would you like to maybe share a little bit on that?
Well, I started looking at patterns in my life. So I just me doing it for myself. This wasn't about the book or anything. And I started looking at the things that repeated themselves. And then I was trying to figure out, why do I seem like I'm back here again? Why am I back here again? And then something else, why am I back here again? And then I started to go back in history, my family, and look at whatever the blueprint I was given. We're all given a blueprint, whether we want to accept it or not, or we want to believe it or not. When we come here, we basically, to me, we are basically clean slates. And then based on what our family, what their belief systems are, or what is said to us, the neighborhood kids, the school kids, the teachers, all of that forms this blueprint. And then we decide most of the times that as we get older, this is still our blueprint. And that because it was given to us, it's very hard, or we don't even know that we can actually redesign that blueprint. So we live it out and we continue to live it out. So when I started looking at the things and finances was one of the things for me. When you grow up in a situation where there's never enough, and you find, that you are at a young age, your family's always scrounging around trying to just get ends meet. If somebody's not talking to you in the other ear, telling you, hey, you know what, that's just what this is. But you can do whatever else you want to be doing this life. That's what this situation is. But that doesn't mean all situations will be that. So, but what is formed sometimes is the belief system that this is all there is for me. Because because of the blueprint, every time you try to take a step forward, you take one and then you get 9 steps backwards. And then you take another one, you get 9 steps backwards. So the belief system of things don't really work out for me start to form young, and then it becomes cemented. So now you're trying to figure out, what do I do? This just keeps happening to me. And I remember one of my friends in his life, he says, I just feel like we're jinxed. And I remember saying the same thing. I feel like I was jinxed. Not really taking into account all the small, minute steps that I made. Because they were so small, they didn't seem like they were valid enough to hold my attention, because the things that were more painful are what usually grabs your attention.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
yeah, that's how I began looking at my blueprint and saying, "Oh, I don't like this blueprint. So what do I do
I
now?"
love that. So when you took a look at the blueprint, how do we look at our own blueprint? Because I think you made a good point about taking inventory of looking on around you where you're kind of going, why is this always happening to me, this thing or this area of life? How do you really rein that in to figure out your blueprint?
Well, I think it's easy because it tells us every time you say, "Why is this always happening to me?" You know, and you're the common denominator. I always tell people, I say, "Look, if you show up everywhere and the same thing happens, but the people change, let's look at self." And it's not a blame thing. We can't even blame our parents. We can't blame because everyone's doing the best that they can with the tools that they have. But when you can recognize that this thing keeps following me. It's followed me from high school, middle school, high school, to college, now to adult life. Then that's where the core begins. And it's not even about going back to see, okay, who said what to me. It doesn't even matter. It's like once you understand it, how do I replace it with something that I really want to happen? So you literally can sit down and design a blueprint. And then after you get the blueprint of it, then you write the script of the life that you want. Because everything, I believe that we live out scripts every day. This is a script you and I had. You know, we you
Absolutely.
right. You decided I'm going to have her on the show. I'm writing her into my life for this day, for this reason. That's part of your script. There are people that we write out of our scripts on a daily, but oh, I cannot stand her. You know what? You're written out of my script now. So we can design the blueprint, which is the feeling and getting the understanding of all the things that we love, and put it in a blueprint form, and then write the script based around that. So when you don't always, the blueprint will become what you actually live out, because you're operating from the script that you've written. So yeah,
Ooh,
so
that
the
was
book,
good.
yeah,
That's
so
real good.
bigger, better, bolder, better.
Mm.
It follows the three acts of your life. The birth act, from birth to, I would say, middle schoolish, when the teen years hit. Then you learn some new lessons all the way up to college and out, and then the adult life. So it's three acts to redesigning your blueprint and rewriting your life script, because our lives go in acts, and then we can decide. It's like a production. You are the producer of your life, and you are the star of your show. So at any moment you can decide that I don't want this. You know what I tell people? Sit back, buy a ticket, and watch your life for a week. Just watch the people that come in and
Oh,
out,
I
what is
love
said.
that. Be like a patron of your artistic
of,
life,
of
whatever that
and
looks like.
Yeah, and then you can really get to see the things you don't like, and start to make a shift. It's not always easy. Well, it's easy to make the shift. It's harder to continue to stay in this as the shift is happening. It's very easy to fall out of it because the habits are more prominent than the new thing. So we're always going to
Hmm.
default to our habits.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm a big believer in like getting those habits set in stone, where it's like it might not be a big habit, it might be like just this little minutia, little teeny tiny little, may just be getting up and getting dressed in the morning. Look, let's just call that, like, it can be simple as that. And you're like, I'm going to do this until it feels like it's part of my life and part of who I want to be, and then ultimately who I am.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
love.
it's like any other type of addiction. We're addicted to our behaviors, and we're addicted to our patterns. So you have to decide, okay, I'm going to maybe wobble a little bit, I'm going to kind of vacillate back and forth, but every time you do it again, it gets less and less. The thing you're trying to shift becomes easier and easier. It's like anything else, a diet, exercise, anything, changing a habit from, your bedtime. Anything that you want just takes consistency. And then when you slip, you don't beat yourself up. You go, okay, that's that, but I'm going to jump back in there. We're going to do it again. So yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And I think the one mistake a lot of people make is they try to take the whole elephant down, and you're just like, you just can't do it. It's just it's no, just
Yeah.
small bites, small bites.
Small bites, small bites. One of the things I've been learning, Rita, is that for me, is I don't have to go into what's tomorrow. I got to worry. I said, just enjoy the moment we're in, because really that's the only moment we have, is right now, right here and now on this day. So when I know I have to do something I don't particularly care for, I find something that's joyful about it, and try to retrain my brain to go, okay, this is what I do like about this, and stay in gratitude on that. And then everything else just shifts. Gratitude is magical. It is so magical.
Oh, it really just turns the tide on where our energy is going to flow, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It just really does. So I have a fun question for you. What's the
Hmm.
most chaotic way that this book came to you? In a dream, a shower, total accident, spinning the wheels of life, going, "What is happening? Wait, what did it?"
Well, it's really funny. And this is the book, everyone. Let me see if I can see. This is the book, Being Bigger, Better, Bolder, Better. And, I think that because I was doing workshops, and so it wasn't really that funny, but because I was doing workshops, people would say things like, "You need a book. You should have a book. Do a workbook." Because I was printing out these little workbook sections, for my classes and my workshops.
Oh, I'm
So in the
obsessed with worksheets and workshops.
Yeah, they have there's sections for you to write and reflect, and you could I take you through what I go through. But the book, I started writing this book in 2012, and it says, and I'm just going to read, it says, in 2012 I've decided to write a book about my journey. Okay, it's 2013 and I've decided to sit down and finish this book. Okay, it's 2015, and yep, still working on finishing this book. Okay, it's 2016, and I've started again, but the but they're and they're I'm sorry, I need my glasses. And then put the book down because, well, life. 2017, and once again I've decided to finish my book. 2018, why? Okay, I really want to finish this book, but life again. 20, so it just keeps going on till we get to, okay, it's 2024 and I've decided, no more excuses. I will finally finish my book about my journey. Okay, it's May 2024, and I have sat down and finally finished my book, and it's done. No. It's 2025, and my new book is is to be released and kick off my new first Being Bigger, Better, Bolder, Better workshop on my birthday, June 29th, and that's when it was released. Now, I say all that to say that the book went from the title Connecting the Dots to Rewrite Your Script to one day being bigger. I was sitting down and I was talking to myself, and I was like, you just need to be bigger, better, bolder, better. Because people always told me I shrink a lot. I would kind of play small, not really shrink, but play small, which a lot of people, especially women, we have imposter syndrome. So we just, maybe I'm not good at that. And I said, no, everything, be bigger, better, bolder, and better in everything you do. And that's the title of the book now. That is my phrase. That's my catchphrase, being bigger, better, bolder, better. Because,
I love
and
the
it's not,
title because I am like obsessed with alliteration. Like you have no idea. So your title is like so like I love it.
because it is about being bigger, and it's not being in an egotistical way. It's being bigger than the small stuff, better. I want to be Michael Jackson bad. I want to be, because I'm bad, I'm bad. Bold. Let's be bold. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Go and, I dance in the streets. I don't play music in Trader Joe's. I'm dancing. And better. You too?
I am the same way. Do not catch me out of the stores. I will be dancing. I don't even know the song. Oh,
I love music, so I'm bold, be better, better. Every day be better. So being bigger, better, bold, and better. And that's the book, because that's what I became for myself. I put myself through the challenge of being bigger, better, bold, and better every day.
this is amazing, and I think more women need to adopt this because we do shrink and we are told in society to just kind of hush it, zip it, err on the side of being a lady or what, like as if speaking up or saying the truth or saying something a little loudly is not ladylike when it really in fact is, and I love this. I
Well,
love this.
I think a lot of women also, we tend to be givers and take care of. We take care of this, we take care of that. So when it comes to ourselves, we sometimes run out of energy, and we don't, and we go, oh, get to me, But you got to find that nice balance in life. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I totally relate to the years passing to write a book. I love that at the beginning. I love
Uh,
that. Oh, goodness. So, writers, we're all a quirky bunch, right? So, what's your most embarrassing or ridiculous writing habit? that you found yourself in writing this book?
Oh, let me see. The writing habit. Um, I don't know if it's ridiculous, but I write at the weirdest. I'll wake up at 3 a.m. with nothing to do. And I go, okay, it's time to write. So I don't know if it's ridiculous. I just write whenever, I write wherever. Um, and I had like 25 first drafts because I can never find the other one that I just finished. So I I put it someplace. I'm like,
Definitely quirky.
yeah. I'm like, what happened to the other draft? And I'm like, okay, we're starting over again. So yeah, I would say that would be one of them. I had like 25 first drafts. Most people are on their second. I'm still on my first.
Oh, I love that. So, did your book ever completely betray you throughout this process? Like you found yourself going, oh, I mean, aside from hiding itself from you.
Betray me? No, I wouldn't say it did. I think it enlightened me. As I was writing it, I really got to see all of the wonderfulness that makes me, that who I'm made of. Um, and it reinforced the title for me, that and how early I was that, how early on in my life at a young age I was bigger, better, bolder, and better, and how I saw the steps towards shrinking. I started to watch. I said, oh, that's when you did that. Oh, that's how that goes with that. Oh, that connected to that. Okay, wow, this person, it was like, so I really got to see all the little connecting of the dots, and it was very interesting to watch, because that's why I want that's why this book is so wonderful for so many, because people get to go back and really look at. I've always wanted to be there, but I don't know why I didn't get there, because Sally got there, but Sally has her own another set of issues. Maybe Sally's issues are with, relationships with men, where this one was career, or this one is money, or this one is health, or this one is diet. But you get to see how yours show up, and then where you shrunk to not move beyond it.
That's really amazing. That's really great. I love those aha moments when
Yeah.
writing. It's kind of a stinkers when they betray you, but I love the aha moments much better.
Yeah, for me too
Brings
was
it full
also
circle.
the releasing of it. And I'm wondering if that's why it took that long, because I was afraid to release it. Because once you release something like this, it wasn't even about what people are going to think about my journey. I still struggle periodically, not as much now, with what people gonna think. What do they say? Who does she think she is? Oh, she thinks she's something. It's always that with me,
She's
so
Terrah
even
Bennett Smith.
posting.
That's who she
Yeah,
thinks she is. So
right.
deal with it.
Yeah, right. She posted, even when I post things or picture, I go, okay, post. Because I always go through that. Okay, people are gonna say, what's she doing now? She always up to something, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I don't care. People are dying. Do your life, you know?
This is so funny and so relatable. I swear we are sisters because we are twins. There are so many things you and I do that are quite parallel, and we were talking about this yesterday when we were chatting. And I fear that sometimes you're like, oh, am I posting too much, or maybe they won't understand? And then you kind of go, doesn't matter. You just need to do you, and that's the point, right? Just
That's the point. Just
be
do you.
courageous in who you are, and just be like, I'm gonna
Mhm.
I'm
No,
gonna
it's very
make that post. I'm gonna publish that book. I'm going to film that movie. You just do what you got to do, and you are amazing at all those things, by the way.
I'm I am one of those people that when somebody told me a long time ago, when an idea comes through you, it's for you to do. They said when it comes through you, it's for you to do. Now you can sit here and wait on this
Everyone needs to
circumstance.
write that down.
This circumstance, that circumstance, and which means now you're waiting for someone else to give you permission or someone else to say yes. And I have learned and watched that when something comes through me and I jump on it, then I'm met with everything else that I need. And even though I'm petrified half the time, going, why did I do this? I don't want to do this. Why did I say I was going to do this? Which is every time. Like right now, I'm doing a film and it's the same thing. Why did I say I'm doing this? But you get in it and then you go once, and I'm one of those people, once I commit to something and I bring other people in, I'm not going to back down on them. So I got to figure it out.
I'm the same. I'm like, it doesn't matter if I stumble on my face. I'm just going to let them know, look, here I am. It's what we're going to do. So I'm committed.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want anyone at the end of my life for sure to say she didn't follow through. I don't want
Right.
anyone to ever think that. That's probably my one thing. I'm just like, no, she always did it.
Yeah. Yeah. And people admire that too, Rita. Like when they see you and they see that you're doing all the things you want to do. Some people even want to do a podcast and are petrified to do that. You know what I mean? It's like, well, who wants to hear what I have to say? It doesn't matter. You want to say something, say it.
I'm with that. If you guys want to do that, you got to just do it. And you know what? Rally your friends, because your friends are going to help support you. Your family's going to help you support you. Rally the people who are going to go, oh, you're doing this now? Absolutely. I'll share it. I'll go to it.
Mhm.
I'll watch it. I'll like it. Whatever the case may be. It's the whole point is to lean into the blueprint and what you're working on for yourself so that you can get past that next speed bump, hurdle, whatever.
Right.
Absolutely. I love that. Let's play producer.
Okay.
You young lady don't have to play because you are, but for the sake of today's conversation, if your book had a trailer, what's the opening scene?
The opening scene is a little precocious Bronx girl jumping double dutch outside of the projects and talking to her friends and talking smack to her friends. And then the ice cream truck pulls up, and then, like in Eddie Murphy's movie Raw, when he goes, ice cream! Mama, throw down some money. The ice cream truck is in. Now, we lived on the 14th floor, and my mother would put some money in a handkerchief, some change, and throw it from the 14th floor window and land, and we grab our money because we don't want to run upstairs and miss the ice cream truck. So that would be the opening scene. Double dutch, 10, 20, 30, 40, some bopping music, some of my Latina brothers outside playing the percussions because they would always bring out their bongos. So that would be the opening scene. Very vibrant. The fire hydrant off where the kids open up the fire hydrant and spew the water all over the cars that come. That would be the opening scene.
Oh my gosh, I cannot be. I want to be there.
I know. That was
I haven't
life.
double dutched since elementary school.
Oh my gosh, I did it a few years ago. I just
You
saw a picture
did?
yesterday. I was in St. Martin, and they had there's a group called the Over 40 Jumpers or something like that. I've forgotten. I'm sorry. Yeah, so they were on the cruise with us. I'm not a cruise, the trip with us. It was a retreat, and we would jump a double. Da, da. Yeah, it was fun.
Man, I want to do double. I mean, I'll probably trip. I mean, whatever. I don't want to. I want to put that out there. I probably do okay, but the ropes would have to go slow first.
Yeah, that's it too.
There'll
You
be
get
no
used to
speed dutching right now. No speed dutch. Like
once you know it, your brain goes click. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember that like back in school we like do it all quick and then do spins and try to do these extra jump, all this silly stuff. Oh,
I
I
was
love this.
basic. I was basic, and I would turn around, jump in and out, but I didn't do all the touching. I think I used to do a little touching the ground, but that was it. I wasn't no fancy jumper, you know.
Oh, that's great. That is great. So, what is the weirdest or most unexpected feedback you've ever gotten from a reader?
Nothing weird yet.
That's
Well,
awesome.
one of my girlfriends, well, a friend who I had, I didn't even know she purchased the book, and she said, I cried. She said, and then now I want to go back and connect it to my life. She said, I was reading it and understanding. She said it hit me in at certain points because I started to reflect and see how I was holding myself back, and I started to cry because how we do ourselves a disservice, on this journey. And that was, it was a wonderful thing to hear that she really got something out of it. Um, but it was also kind of sad when you think about how many of us do ourselves a disservice, but we don't know any better because we can only do the best we can from where we are and what we were given.
I think that is phenomenal feedback. Phenomenal feedback. Oh, I love that because it really does. The book really does draw you in to self reflect and take a look at your life in the big picture and the scope of things and how you're maybe, like you said, giving yourself a disservice to what you
Mm-hmm.
could really bring to the world and what you're here to bring the world to begin with.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's just an understanding of your journey so that you can share that with someone else. Understanding it to the point of, well, because so often we talk about the stuff we've been through. Yeah, my parents were this and we didn't have this. But what does that mean how does that carry you? Some people say now that I'm doing really great. Okay, but what did you do? Give some tips so someone else can learn how to navigate out of their situation.
Right, because you took steps to get great. There was
Right.
a lot of work that no one
Mm,
saw. Right, it was the unseen, real deep
right.
dive of work that got you to
Right.
great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So, which book from your childhood still lives rent free in your head and maybe you inspired you more than you realized?
Book. I can't say there's a book because I was not, unfortunately, an avid reader. Um, but I could tell you probably a show or yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
I read things that I had to read, but I also, as I got older, I became more of a reader because I liked biographies. I liked hearing how other people's stories of how they move forward. Like Muhammad Ali, I read his book, and things like that. People who achieved, I like to see their journey. And I had a yeah, but I would say probably, and it might have been the Muhammad Ali book, because I also think that particular day, or when not one particular day when I was reading his book on the subway in New York, something happened and we connected. I connected. He was always one of my favorite people, but I was about to be followed. And reading that book, I don't know how the connection, but that was a very pivotal day for me because there was a gentleman standing over me, big guy standing over me, and he was holding on to the thing. And I'm just reading my book, and I got ready to get up to, I thought it was my stop because I was so into the book. And when I got up, I fell back in my seat because the train jerked. And just as I stood up, he started to walk. And then when I stopped, he came back. And that instant, I knew. I don't know how, if that's a New York connection thing, but I'm telling you, Rita, at that moment, I knew that I said, he's going to follow you. Now, I don't know, like I lost my mother very early. So I always feel like I had this, somebody constantly with me. And he did, he tried. But when I got off the train, and this is sidebar, but when I got off the train, I stood there on the platform in my New York brain. I was like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to act like, now I'm in acting mode. I said, we're going to act like we don't know where we're going and see what he does. So I stood there, the train takes off, and I'm going like this. Okay, no, do I go this way, this way? And all the while I'm watching him out the corner of my eye. And so he stands there, and then I start to walk, and I said, he's okay, he follows me. I said, oh, there we go. And so I know this is also, I remember I'm walking, looking around, still like I don't know. I said, okay, I think I was at 14th Street. I lived on, so that was the express train. The next train was 42nd Street. So I live in between the two. So I had to take the local train. So I had to get off, wait for the local train to get to 28th Street. So I I run up, I go up the steps like I'm leaving, and then I get to the top of the steps and I see him coming up the other steps. And just as I turn around, I said, nope. And because I didn't see a cop there. So I turn around and I come back down the steps. The local train pulls up. I jump on, the door closes, and I see him coming down the steps. But you know what's funny about that story too? Maybe a year prior to that, maybe even 2 years, I was doing a show, and they would drop us off right in that same area, 30 something street, right in my neighborhood. They would drop us off in a car. They would take us from Jersey in a car, drop us off, and then we'd walk home. This particular day, I just happened to be looking out the van window, and I know this is sidebar, but this is all like journey and paying attention to life and all the steps that, because I even think it might be in my book, this story. But anyway, I was looking out the window and I saw this, and it looks like the same guy, same built, same height, same complexion, same everything. That the guy that was standing in front of me. So there was a flight attendant with walking with her little, carry-on thing. She was walking down the street and I just happened to catch her and I saw this guy. She goes inside of a store and I saw this guy wait. So if you go in the store, she goes in the store this way. She's coming up this way. She goes in the store. He waits on this side of the store outside. So when she comes out, she starts walking. He starts walking again. And I tell my guys, there was two guys with, I said, hey, that guy is following that girl. So we get out the car and I catch up to her. And he's still following her. And I said, I don't want to alarm you. I'm just talking like I know, hey girl, I said, but you've been followed since such and such a street. And she goes, really? I said, yep, that guy right over there. And so I said, but my friends are going to walk you home. And then I took myself down the street. So I almost feel like,
Wow.
I know, I almost feel like because it was the same body type, it was the same area. So he probably preyed on women,
And it seemed like he definitely had like a type of women, right? It was women that were alone.
Caucasian, but alone,
alone, looked like they travel a lot.
Yeah, we were the same age range, but so it's really, I felt like that day I was reading my Muhammad Ali book and I always connected that book to saving my life. I don't know why, because I was just reading, but I don't know, probably because it's a memory that stays with me, but I think
that's the best book to live rent free because it literally saved your life. Thank you, Muhammad Ali. Thank you.
Yeah, and I really believe that, my mom was always my spiritual guide because she died when I was young. She always kind of had my back, but that was, I'm kind of sidebar. I'm sorry, guys, but I just got so into that story because it was so.
That's an amazing story. Do not apologize. Yeah. That is amazing. Like, if any book can be living rent free, right, it would be the book that saved your life, and not only your life, but another woman's life as well.
Yeah. But this was before that. Like, she was first, I was second. But I really believe that this universe blessed me and took care of me because I took care of someone else. I wasn't even concerned about me because I knew he wasn't thinking about me at the time. He was thinking about her. But it was this, and I saw his face. So I know when he was in front of me, and later I said, that was that same guy. He probably preys on women in this area. So anyway, yeah, interesting.
Very interesting.
I know we're going over 20, but who cares?
Yeah, okay. Just let me know if you want to wrap. I'll ask a couple more questions. Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. So let's see. Say you're hosting a chaotic dinner party with 3 of any of your friends, right? What's on the menu and who flips the table first? They could be fictional or real. Maybe celebrity picks.
Okay, but when you say flip the table, what do you mean? So I can.
I'm thinking Real Housewives New Jersey flip the table.
Oh, unfortunately.
I know I don't really have friends like that, so I don't know.
No, I've cut them out. I've cut out the table.
Me too. I'm like,
now I do have some fun, like energetic.
Ooh, I like that.
Right, more so, but I don't have anybody that I just, if you flip the table on me and you're not, and because I give everybody room to have, moments, because I have moments, but if you don't recognize this as something and you really are hardcore rude and mean, then I don't want that. That doesn't feel good to my soul. We can have a difference, but when you hit me hard like that, and you can't see that it could possibly been looked at another way, then I don't have you. But on the menu, I don't eat meat, so I would probably I do a nice vegetarian lasagna, vegan lasagna, maybe some from my place. I have a vegan sushi place that I love. It's so good. It's delicious. And these don't even go together, so my guests will probably get a stomach ache because sushi and lasagna don't go together. And a nice big green salad. So something in that vein, just a hodgepodge of things people can nibble on. And I would have my sister, friend Carla, probably my daughter Remy, probably my friend Wendy. Um, people that I can sit around and laugh with. I have another friend named Tess,
Have a
Andrea.
good time, enjoying life, like
Just enjoying talking.
drama free people. And that's one of the things, as women, as we get older, I feel like some of us catch it later and some of us catch it early. I feel like I caught it a little earlier, where you just sort of like, you're like, oh, this person's causing a little ruckus. Let's minimize our interaction to nil.
Right, right. And realizing that it doesn't even fit with you. So it feels awkward when they're in the space. It's like I have a very low tolerance for people when they drink too much and they start to slur,
I will be the first to go.
yeah, it's uncomfortable for me. And they
It's
lean,
me too.
I just I don't no. No.
Yeah, well, it's a self-control issue, and for me, if that's it to me, it translates, and this may not be true for anyone else, but for me it translates to, well, if you can't control this, what else can you not control, and how will that come back to me at some point? I
Right.
maybe that's a little bit too many moves ahead, but that's just how my brain works.
Right. 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 No, you're absolutely right. Everything's connected. So
All right, well, before we wrap, what project are you working on right now that you're secretly or not so secretly obsessed with?
there are two right now. Actually, there's more than two, but I'm doing a feature, which I'm directing and also and I secretly can't talk about it yet because everybody has an NDA, but it's probably a fun female-driven project. Um, and then I'm doing a Broadway-bound show, which I also can't talk about. But so I'm excited to be, to find myself back there. If all pans out as it is, as it looks like it is, it'll be really nice because I've only done Broadway once. I had an opportunity to do it twice, but at that age, I didn't want to do it anymore. I was like, I'm good. But now I could do it totally. I'm a very different person now than I was then. So yeah, those
Stage
are the
is
two.
so fun, and I'm so
It's so
excited that you're
fun.
going to be back on
Yeah.
stage. And you better keep us posted. I'm going to be following that. I want to
Well, when
see you.
I
I want to go see you.
talk about those two new projects that will be happening next year sometime. So yeah.
Very nice. Now, before we go, please tell our audience where they can find you, connect with you, follow all your upcoming events, and where we can buy your book.
Well, the book is on Amazon. Being bigger, badder, bolder, and better. That. My girlfriend's writing me a theme song for my workshops. Yes, and I'll be doing some workshops, and they're fun. They're they're interactive. You get to play out your life. It's so much fun. So that's one of the things. You can follow me on my name, Terrah, Terrah Bennett, Bennett Smith, no hyphens, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, and I'm really trying hard, y'all, to really
Yeah,
post
it's
on a
tough, the
regular.
social media game.
It's
I get it.
I,
It's
oh gosh. Uh, anyway, but yeah, you can follow me on social media, and that's usually where I'll post what's upcoming, and check me out and buy the book on Amazon, and look forward to a workshop. Come show up, have fun with me.
yay! Thank you so much for being here, Terrah. I love and
Thank
appreciate you so much. And
thank you for having me, and I appreciate you. And we're gonna do something together down the line, I'm sure.
yes, we
Kindred
are. Yes, we
spirits
are.
always find ways back together.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
Bye.